Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Pedro, Mel, Bel, e Azael. Today you are here for one more immersion in English, and you talk about the journey of learning, motivation, method, and application, all right? I will start with a presentation. I'm Bruno. I live in Brasilia. I'm married. I'm 41. I have two sons. I graduated in physiotherapy and I work in public service, but I want to change my career because now I work in the administration area and I wanted to restart in physiotherapy. Maybe I needed to start to learn it again because I graduated a long time, but it's okay. And you, Pedro, can you introduce yourself, please?
Of course. Good morning, everyone. My name is Pedro. I am 25 years old. I am from Belo Horizonte. I graduate in design and just that today.
All
I'm
right,
not
Pedro.
very creative today.
All right, thank you so much. Mel, please, your turn.
Okay, so I'm El Tavares. I'm from São Paulo. I live here. I like to study languages. I like animals, eating, and yeah, I intend to work with the languages just as an interpreter or something like that in the future, of course. Now I'm at the beginning.
All right, Mel, thank you. Azael, please, introduce yourself.
My name is Azel Christian from Fortaleza, Ceará. So it's very hot here, but that's life. I'm still studying at school, so I'm not at college yet, but I intend to do an exchange to a community college to the US, which is colleges that their courses take more or less 2 years. It's like technology in Brazil. So I think it will be an interesting path in my life.
Oh, nice, great. Bel, please, your turn.
Okay, hello everyone. So I'm Bel. How I mentioned before, my name is Alberlene. I'm from Fortaleza as well, but I live in Salvador, Bahia. Yeah, my friends call me Bel because Alberlene is a long name. Yeah, it's hard to say sometimes. And let me see, I work like a controller. I live with my mother. Actually, my mother lives with me here, and she coming. And I have two dogs. In my free time, I would like to. Sometimes I like watching videos on YouTube, have a conversation with some friends, and ride on bike too. Spend time with my dogs. Let me see. I really like to talk about that topic because it's an interesting topic to talk in the Monday. Yeah, 7, 8 a.m. Sorry, it's 9. Yeah, 9 a.m.
Daniel.
Yeah, I'm a morning person, and yeah, I really like to talk about it because I think it's important to recognize that topic and to be motivated to continue the long journey. Like talking English, for example, here we know all know it's a practice, yeah. And when I felt not comfortable to talk English, it's because I don't have a motivation to do that. And it's a cycle, it's a trick of my mind. So I'm trying to be here as a possible. And yeah, I think of that. And an interesting topic because yeah, I need to be motivated all the time. And sometimes it's hard to be motivated. And to be here with all, it's important because we are here to practice the English. It's the same purpose, the same goal. And for me, it's interesting.
This is a good tip, no? When you together with people have the same object or same goals to, for example, improve the English, the language, any language here in Talk Talk, it's possible, no? And it's amazing. It motivates me too, as well. So let's go and start with the questions. The number one, Mel, for you, that you would like to learn something new and why?
Right now, I'm trying to learn German, and that's something I would like to learn. I think it would be useful for my professional life in the future, but also as a challenge for myself in my personal life, because I think it's difficult for me at least. So I think it would be nice to say I did that, I made it. Now I speak German. So right now I'm at the beginning still, yet, but that's why I think it would agregar in my both life, like in the professional one and the personal one. That's it.
Yeah, German is a hard language, I think, like the Japanese too. Oh my gosh. And in the past, I saw a video that I watched a video that put many different country, the language, Portuguese, English, Spanish, and German, for example, and they talk about a hospital. For everybody, it's the sound, it's the similar, no? Hospital, 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 something like this. In the German, it's something like it's very different.
Krankenhaus.
Oh my gosh. It's not similar for the other language, German, it's hard, like the Japanese. I tried to learn in Japanese in the past, but oh my gosh, I give up. No, it's not for me now. I want to learn other things like for me, I like to learn to play the instrument, music instrument. Actually, I like to learn guitar, play the guitar. I think it's cool, but I don't have time. No, I don't. It's not my. I don't have it prioritized in these moments. No, I have time, but it's not for this moment. It's not now. I don't want to learn now. That's it. And you, Pedro, what would you like to learning?
It's an interesting topic because I remember when I finished my graduation, I I have a decision like I will take a post graduation or I will take some courses like I don't have time when I was in graduation. So I start so much courses and I remember I didn't finish every course that I bought. But now I think the most thing is to learn is about myself, like have a new perspective of life, like understand myself to join a new enterprise. So like more deeper understand about myself, not other things about that.
Right. Great. And you, Belle?
So actually, I'm like you, Bruna. I don't have a lot of time, and for me, I'm trying to have focus in my goals. For example, English for me will be the first goal. Actually, I have a task. It's an interview English at my work in the September, and because of that, for example, in that month, I try to put focus on that. But yeah, what would you like to learn is something new. I start to study programming, I think, Python. I never learned about it, but I think the behaviors, the environment here in Talk and Talk, we have a lot of persons that study about software developer or technology, and I have some friends that start to study that. I looking for some videos on YouTube or courses in English. By the way, there are a lot of courses in English, and but that's a goal for the future, maybe after September, because now I wanted to be able to talk, to do my task, my interview in English, and it's about the aviation English. And I had that test in the other times in the past, but I'm not prepared for that because there are two phase or steps, and I was focused on the conversation, and the first step was not possible to have a available for the second step because the first steps is about listen. And yeah, was a frustration time for me but now I'm prepared for the second steps, like an interview in English. And yeah, I will put focus in English. Maybe the new things will be aviation English because I need to study a new vocabulary about my work. And after then will be maybe programmer or Python. But when I have time, I really like to watch videos about philosophy on YouTube, or some have class about different device or topics. I'm a little random person, but I like to study philosophy or English, maybe, or personal development. Yeah, I
All
think.
right. Great. I understand. I sometimes in the at moment of the life, you need to focus on the specific activity, task, like you said. No. Thank you, Belle. And you, Azael, what do you like to learn in something new?
Well, first off, currently I'm learning programming logic. It's like the previous task to learn before you learn a real programming language, you know? And after that, I intend to learn JavaScript, which is another programming language similar to Python, but it's used more in web development because I'm working with it right now. Um, and also I intend to learn French because it's a language that attracts me. I don't know if it's their accent or if it's the grammar, but I know it. I don't know. It's something weird because you don't know exactly why a language attracts you. It's very weird. I don't know if there is an explanation for that, but it's just incredible. And more in the future, I intend to learn other programming languages like maybe Python or PHP. I don't know. I will see it in in the future. But yeah, for me, right now, that's it. What I intend to learn, or rather, what I would like to learn in the future. And the reason why I wanna learn these things mainly is because I want to get better in my work. I want to improve it, although it's quite hard sometimes because it's not an easy thing to do, but that's an interesting one because at the same time you improve your problem solving skills, your ability to solve problems, you improve at the same time in your work, and at the same time uh, your skills to earn more money. So that's awesome. uh, yeah, that's it.
All right. About the French, I can invite you to practice here in Talk. It's possible, no? If you want, come on. I improve my French here in Talk, and it's so nice. Great. And I think you asked the number two too, no? Do you think it is important to learn new things? And why you answer many things that I understand that is very important, no? Because like you said, you need to develop your other skills, no? You want to complete some these questions, the number two, as well. Azael, você quer complementar? The number two? Do you think it is important to learn new things? And why? So, let's go, Pedro, and you.
Oh, yes, I think it's very important learning new things because in my life, when I feel like I was so monotony, I feel like bad. I like to learn new things or just like I read a new book, for example. Like when you read a new thing, like I remember when I feel like I was I don't remember the correct word for it, desatualizado about technology because in my work I have to make content and learn about that. I signed some newsletter about technology, about the culture of design, and day. I start my week like reading a lot of topics and knowing about the things about the world of technology and the general topics. And very good because you you when you put it face to face like a new thing, you want to know about that. It's a very interesting because like Azael said, when you something attract you and you don't know why, you just come back and learn more about that thing.
Exactly. I think it's super important to learn every day, you know, and you have many things to learning. And you, Belle,
Yeah, I totally agree. It's crucial to learn new things in our life because nowadays we have a lot of information and a lot of information, but we need to be able to learn new things and use that for the others or for our life. And if you don't have that conception about learning or lifelong learning, for example, will be in the back. I don't know to explain like that, but it's like if you don't learn, you are not updated about all the information, and we need to that for the future for our life. And yeah, for example, and I think when you learn a new things, you can apply that in the other parts in your life. For example, other time I will talk about the English, for example, English journey, because I really learn. I don't learn about just about English. I learn about to be constant or disciplined person and or to be patient because for example in the past I'm in my mind I'm not able to talk in English. I had a lot um, uncomfortable moments or emotional issues about learning English. Yeah. And nowadays, when I watching some videos on YouTube, when I can realize some words in English, for example, it's like, oh, I can celebrate that because I improve a little about in the past, for example. And I could apply that. And why I could improve that? Because at the beginning, my English is so um, and enough. It's not enough. And nowadays, I can understand something, can try explain about my conceptions, about my point of views, and I could realize it's to be constant and to be patient, and it's okay, made mistakes, and I just try continuous and expose myself in comfortable situation. It's important too. And yeah, it's like challenge yourself all the time when you are able to learning. Yeah. And when
sure.
I read that question, because we need learning all the time and we need to try past all for the others about what do you learn in your life. I think that's it. Involve the life. The life is change information, change about
Yes.
knowledge. Yeah.
Yes, you said about the update. I think in the special the technology, you know, you needed to involve it and to update all the time the information because exchange very faster. And oh my gosh, I needed to understand this. I needed to learn the new. I need to develop new skills. So that's it all the time.
Yeah.
And put in the practice, no? If you only learn it, I learned this, I study something. No, put in practice. It's very important.
Yeah.
Mel, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, it's the same thing. I think it's so important. As Belle said, it's crucial for us, let's say. I think it's what makes us live because if we don't learn anything, we'll be at the same level for the rest of our lives, and we will just be worse and worse even more, worse and worse even more. So I think we should learn, as you said too. We should learn every day something. In my case, I try to do that too. And about what Belle said about the motivation, I think it's hard for me too, but I believe that it's not so much about the motivation because I know we'll not be always motivated for do some things, for do everything that we need to do. but I think that it's more related to the discipline in my case. So we have to be resilient and to have this mindset thinking that about the future. Where do I want to be? Where do I want to be? Yeah. And sometimes just to look at the past, like where look how I started in the past. So now from just by now I see I grow too much from like a certain point in my life, and now I'm going to keep growing, keeping developing myself, and so we can be always a better person, and not just thinking that the world is just flowers, we don't have responsibilities. It's not like that. We all have our responsibilities, and we all have to grow up, have this mental health, to keep up things, and also not to be around surrounded by people who think that life is just be there and maybe to pay bills. Sometimes we
Yeah.
just we have to do some things more in life. We have to be a a what was the word that Asia said, interested, for example, in other things in life, in bigger things. We need to have big goals to really live a life that we enjoy living, not just
That's
surviving. That's what I think.
all right. Great, Mel. And you, Pedro, how do you choose what you want to learn? Because all the time you have many opportunity, and how do you choose?
Yes, it's a difficult thing, like when you have a lot of opportunities in the internet nowadays, when you open like Udemy or other Domestika or other platforms, of course, you have big options and you, oh my gosh, what I have to do. And like I said, the last when I finished the graduation, I start a lot of courses, but a lot of I didn't finish. So I had a lot of options. I chose some ones, but for be honest, I finished like just two, I think. But when we say the talk earlier, like when you have some goals, you have to be focused. Like in this moment of my life, after I suffer a layoff on the enterprise that I was working, I decided I have some options like try to some concourse or or stayed in my position like working some agents. So I decided to try a process of trainee, like he got a big enterprise and like Vivens more like the culture of enterprise, like 1 year or 1 year half in this process. And after that, I could be in some position like very good, and I decided to do that. And for me, I took this goal. So like I want to develop my skills in this for got that. I think it's most important of that as like stay focused and decide the goal that you will come.
Great, great. Focus, I understand it's so nice because nowadays we have many information on the internet and the access is so easy. And so if you don't have focus, it's impossible to learn, I understand like this. You receive many information. Oh my gosh, but I don't know what do you do with this information, no? And well, you don't learning. Well, so nice, great, Pedro. Thank you. Azael, your opinion about the number three. How do you choose what you want to learn?
Well, well, it depends. It depends because in my case, at least, I take courses. For example, some courses are better than others. I choose the course I want based on the previous users that used the course. For example, I bought an English course, and uh, w- and I and I would like to buy two different courses, but I don't know what course I wanna buy. So I will see the comments. I will see how people think about that course, my decision will be based on that. Obviously, not only that, there are other factors that I have to consider, but that's the main one. And that's a very good point to point out because on the internet nowadays we have a lot of information, but you don't many times you don't know exactly what you want to choose to learn or practice. And a good point to point out here is you have to choose one thing that will be efficient and at the same time good for you because one method can be or not be good for one person or another.
Mm.
Also, some methods, for example, in learning English or something like that, doesn't work, and others work a lot. In if we are speaking English right now is because we are learning English with a method that works, and that's very good, guys. And another point I would like to point out about that is a little bit of motivation. I think motivation is very good when you're learning something, but I think a better one is your, I, I would say, your reason to do that. For example, if you're learning English for a certain reason, for example, to improve your work or to travel abroad, to live in another country, you won't stop. Although many days you won't be motivated to do that, you will do that no matter how, no matter what, because you have a goal. You will do that. Although you may fail sometimes, but you won't make up excuses to don't do what you have to do.
Yeah. The reason is very important to get motivated all the time. No, I love this. But for example, in French, when I started learning French, it's interesting because I don't have reason. I don't know why I learn I study French. I don't know. I don't have a specific goals for this language. I think it's so beautiful and I continue to study. But it's hard sometimes. I want to give up because I don't know why I continue to spend my time into to study this language. But it's okay. I continue because I like it to study. Only this. I not specific reason. No, it's important for my goals. I want to go at the France, for example, or to go at the Olympic to see the Olympic they play the Olympic. That's it. And the Will Bell, tell me about how do you choose the what you want to learn?
Yeah, so in my case, because I choose learning English, it's because my work requires me that, yeah. When I have some problem with aviation in general, I start to think about, oh my gosh, that's pilot call in English. How can I uh, help in this case? Because in Portuguese, it's not so easy, of course, but it's my native English language, for example. And in English, how can I improve myself to help in the hard situation or unusual situation, for example? And it's also because of that, my work requires me that. I'm really, I'm really disciplined person when involves my tasks or my I'm a commitment person when I need to do what I need to do. If I know what is my function at my work, for example, I know I need to be good in that. So at the first moment was that. And at the second time, when I talk about, for example, the Python or software developer, I think was about the environment, yeah, or to be close about the others that guys study about it. I think that's motivated me to start or looking for about it. Yeah, I think
But
was
the
that.
Python, the other things about the technology, you didn't use it, you don't use it in your
My
job,
work?
no?
No, it's it's not don't have any connection between them. Yeah, was just because when I'm here or with my friends, it's all the time the guys talk about the codes and talk about the new technology and artificial intelligence. And I think the future will be that. And I want to be prepared, or I want to know a little about it. Yeah. And about you, Bruno, did you say about French? Yeah. And there is a, are you looking for and put the link here on the chat? There is a sentence, there's a discourse, I think, it's not the word, but Steve Jobs told in the one moment about the points just will make sense in the future. It's like you start to study because you have a time for that, and you try put your focus in that. But maybe in the future will appears a lot of opportunities for you, and
Yeah.
because you know English or you know talking French, for example. Maybe now it's not make sense for you, but maybe in the future will be a lot of, it will be so useful for you in your life or professional or personal life. Yeah. And I think it's like me when I start to, oh, I will looking for about Python or about program. Maybe in the future will make sense. Yeah. And yeah, like I mentioned, and my work requests me learning English. And nowadays it's a personal challenge. It's not a professional challenge. Yeah, because I have access to new people, have access to new information. It's my mind are open for a new information, the world. And I think maybe in the future you make sense. At the moment, it's just because I wanted to be good at my work, because I
Right.
just wanted to be able to talk in English with pilot if necessary. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe
In
in
this
the
moment,
future.
yeah, when you try to develop other skills, it's moment I understand about I agree. No, um I realize that you have a good look, no? Because, for example, and for me, the good look when you have the competition and the opportunity. And oh, I
Perfect.
have a good look.
Yeah.
Okay, but you now you understand you have the skills, you have the competence to develop the to grab them. I think it's so nice to grab this opportunity. No, it's a good look.
That's it.
So that's it. Mel, you, and how do you choose what you want to learn?
I think it depends on the purpose. Like if that's for my professional life that I want to have in the future, I will probably choose these things that I know that will help me there in the future. But of course, if that's something that it's just a hobby, for example, I can try to learn something just as a hobby, and yeah, it doesn't mean it's less important. No, it's just another way, another point in my life, but it doesn't mean it's less important than the professional one. Of course, if we have to prioritize some things, we will, in my case at least, I will prioritize the professional life. But of course, I intend and I try to develop this in my hobbies too. I like art, for example. I like to sew, costurar. So there are these kind of things that it's not um, something that will really agregar in my life, but I see it as repertório. You know, I think it's always important to have this, and maybe in the future, as Belle said, I was about to say that about the French that you mentioned. Maybe it's not about now, but in the future, without you even noticing, that will be another opportunity for you somehow. I don't know. So I think it's always important to keep ourselves updated to things, and even though we don't see something as a good opportunity now, maybe in the future we will we will wish we would have started today. So I always think like that. In 1 year, you will wish you have started today, but today you think it wasn't necessary, it wasn't important. So I think it's like that. And also what you said about luck, to have luck, I think most of people say that because they don't really know you. They don't really know your story, your background, your goals, your efforts that you put into that task, for example. So I believe that the success is the combination of opportunity with being prepared. That's success for me, and I really believe it. So I think it's kind of like that.
That's it, Mel. Thank you. And the number 5, do you use apps or websites to learn, and which ones?
For me,
Mel. Yes.
okay, yeah, I do. I think I don't know one specific, but I do use one that it's in German. It shows me the gender of the word because there are 3 genders there. And it's not related to the movement from right now. It's just 3 genders. It's basic, and it shows me every gender. So, and of course, sites or the internet in general to learn, to try online courses and just online videos that can help me to improve anything that I want to improve. So yeah, I do for sure.
So nice. And you, Azael, do you use app or website to learn anything?
Yes, usually I use, when it comes to programming or web development, I like to use websites and some videos to learn more about the topic I'm studying. Like, there is a website called W3C Schools, which is uh, the organization that organize some programming language. There are various documentations about programming languages, about functionalities. I like to check out some information about it because uh, I like this ability to study by yourself, to check out by yourself, and not depend uh, for other people, because you're able to improve more and study with more, uh, study better. And obviously, I like to practice what I learn and put in practice. And when it comes to English, for example, currently I'm learning two things basically, English and programming. And when it comes to English, I like to use, for example, Talk and Talk, like here, to uh, put to put in practice my skills of speaking. But also I use other resources. I'm using an app called HBO Max, a very good streaming. Uh, Usually I use it to watch Friends, which is a very good series to learn English, especially if you're a beginner or in an intermediate level in English. It's very good. I like to use various resources because you have a variation of stuff to learn. You're not limited in just one thing or a few things. You're more able to learn better from different perspectives, different backgrounds. I like it.
Nice. Yes, I use the Anki for the English for learning the language. I love to use Anki because it's possible to repeat. You have a system automatic repetition, um sistema de repetição automático. So I learn it. I understand it so nice when you put in practice this. And sure, on the other website, I use too much too. And you, Pedro?
The is number 5, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I use a lot of sites or apps for learn a new thing. I think method is essential when you start to learn a new thing, because like I it's a goal of me for me, like learning a programming language too. but not now. I have other focus. But I remember when I decided, like, yes, just check some articles or things about Python and other languages. And oh my gosh, when you saw like all things, you feel like, oh my gosh, I will never learn about that because it's so much information and like that. But when you start like study a new thing like the beginning, like the simple things is easier. So I use it like for learning, not just learning a new language, but have content with the language like Duolingo. I started it more focused when started the pandemic, and now I am like 50 days of Duolingo of streaks is so much, but I think it's just the Duolingo don't make your fluent because you learn about not another vocabulary, another structure of grammar, but the conversation is not very deep like when what we do in Talk and Talk. And I use the other platforms like to understand another things. I signed last year the platform Awari about the course of product digital, and I learned a lot of things because I work as a product designer, and I want to understand more of the wide view of the product, like product management, product owner. So I signed this platform, and it was very good for me. And I use it Hotmart too, and Udemy and Domestika. I think that's the sites I use it.
Nice. You said about here the Talking Talk. So for me, it's a great platform, conversation platform, because it's a real conversation. For me, I have many questions, of course, but to guide this conversation. But maybe I change the question. Someone, if you want to ask for other people, no problem for me. It's free. And in this moment, you really learn something to practice the speak, no? It's very important. I love this platform, this community. And for you, Belle, tell me, what do you
So,
use it to learning?
yeah, actually, I just use it's not just. I was looking my phone. I have a lot of apps, but I didn't use. Yeah, but maybe I would say TEDx because, but I use in the YouTube. Yeah, I watching a lot of videos on YouTube in English or about philosophy, but because I really like. And I try use it Hotmart because there are some course, for example, English aviation course, and I use sometimes. But here I think here Talking Talk it's the best one. And in the last week, I started to use the Chat GPT for the conversation. There's a app, and I was really motivated because I could talk with artificial intelligence, and she provided me a lot of feedbacks about my pronunciation, about the structure, and I was very happy because it's possible she understood me, and for me it's motivated me a lot. And yeah, when I don't have any class here, it's not possible to participate in here, for example, I try have a conversation with a machine. And yeah, but the most part of the time I use YouTube videos or here Talk and Talk because in the YouTube it's like a passive way, and here in Talk and Talk it's more active way because it's possible to talk. And yeah, I think that's helped me a lot. And nowadays it's totally possible to learning something at home. Just use a computer and internet, and it's easy, but we have a lot of information, and we need to organize what I need to want to learning, what it's possible learning, if you have time for that or not. And yeah, I think
So
it's just
nice.
that.
Continue
But there
with
are a lot of
you. Go ahead.
no, I just was it's because it was an interesting point for me because I have a lot of apps here in my phone, but I don't use
All right. Well, for you, and you learn many things, but how do you measure your learning process? You have a specific method to no, now I need to do the test, to do something to measure how your process.
No, for example, what it's possible, for example, have a level English test, for example. But for me, I try just recognize it's possible. For example, in the past, it's not possible understand um, video on YouTube or some movies in English. And nowadays it's possible. And I could realize I improve, but I don't have a scale about it. Yeah. I don't have any scale. It's not, I don't have a test or exam about it. I will have an exam from my work. Maybe that will be will mention or give me a scale about my perform. But I'm just try looking for the back, behind, and look my perform. Yeah, and nowadays I just that I don't have any method to
All
realize
right.
that.
Thank you. And you, Azael, the number 9, how do you measure your learning process?
Well, my case, if I measure my learning process, for example, if I being good or bad at something, it would be it.
Only.
This question asks about how you measure your level of progress in something.
Yeah,
Would be it.
yeah, yeah,
Well, in my case,
yeah.
uh, I'm gonna approach here in English. I think it's the best example. In English, for example, it depends on which area I'm learning. For example, if it's in writing, which is one of my favorite areas that I like to practice English, I see my mistakes, I see how I evolved over the time, and I do a comparison with my previous uh, writings because I have a diary that I write almost every day. Although sometimes I fail, but uh, I'm trying hard to write every day, and I do a comparison with my old uh, records when it comes to
Oh,
it. And I see and I stay like, oh man, I evolved a lot, man. It's so awesome because some months ago I wasn't able to even write in English, and now, man, I I can write in English and the best. Uh, Mostly of my text is grammatically correct, so it's awesome. Obviously, there are other areas in English like speaking or listening, and listening, for example, uh, 6 months ago, I couldn't understand nearly anything in English, and now it's like easy peasy. Sometimes very very interesting. But the I wouldn't say the worst thing, but sometimes I struggle in speaking, especially when it comes to pronounce new words, unknown words. But when I see the past, I say to myself, "Man, you evolved a lot, man. It's I know
yeah,
these words hard to pronounce, but you did something words were you did something you did things even harder to do, like pronounce the sound of th, which is, man, a terrible thing to do. Very, very hard. But in short, I go to the past and I see how I involved, and I do it until I get better at the thing I'm learning.
all right, great. I use here the YouTube, if you possible to watch the afternoon. It's so nice. I use this. And you, Pedro, tell us.
Is number 9, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I master my learning. I can get a connection like that and answer, because when you applicate the learning, it's the best way like you improve. Like I am learning or I'm not. And I remember like I got a boot camp when I choose to change my professional life. And the boot camp is very interesting because it's not the theoretical part. It's like you learn a new thing and you put in practice, and it's very good. And I think this the best way to master your learning is put in practice, like when you got a new software and when you feel more comfortable using that, or English, like I remember the first times I got in the talk, I not be like confident like about my speaking skills. But in the first one, I got understand the people, and the people got understand me, and I feel yes, I'm not so bad about that. Like it's like that. Like you just not you master it day by day, and like that.
Nice. Great. And you, Bel? Mel?
Okay. For me, I think it depends. Like if that's something visual, I don't know if that's something like a project of art that I made. It's visual. I can see it. If there's something wrong, if there's something I didn't like, I can see it. I can visualize. I can analyze, and then I can do better. But when talking about the process of learning a new language, for example, that it's not so easy to measure, I think I use here, as you said, YouTube to see the first videos when I just started at the CNT, and I see how strange that was, but and it still is, but will be better. And like for another ways, for example, I think sometimes we are so immersed in a situation that we don't even see our progress. Like it's something that we can't see. So it's nice when some people out of like a different person come to you and say to you. So maybe you can ask them. So how do you think I improve? How am I now? So, but it's nice when they come to you because they want to, and just say, whoa, you are so much better at that. And then you stop to realize that, yeah, kind of at the beginning I was totally different. So I think it's like that. And of course, talking about the grammar things, doing some exercises and exams just to prove this evolution to you, talking about the grammar things and that part.
All right. Thank you for your tips too. So guys, thank you so much. Our time is up, all right? You receive an email to evaluate these immersions, and the next Monday, no, yes, next Monday we have more and 9 a.m. All right. See you soon, and have a great weekend. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Everyone, bye.